Okay, second game of the Veterans League matchup between Malacof and Erg, and it is on Parasite. Parasite's a fairly simple map, and it's pretty straight up. So here we've got Malacof in the bottom right, and Chrono in before the pylon's down. I don't know about that. The beef I have with that is you'll get supply blocked before you run out of Chrono. But yeah, normally I wait until my pylon finishes up before I hit the Chrono on the Nexus. So yeah, he kind of didn't get supply blocked before the Chrono ran out, but that's because there was a gap in worker production. I don't know what that is about. Anyway, generally the timing of chronos and stuff on the Nexus, if you drop your first chrono when your pylon finishes up, then by the time that runs out you've got enough energy for another chrono, so you can chrono out sort of 6 workers after the pylon, and that's quite a good thing to do because it gets your worker count up maybe a couple of workers ahead of where your opponent is if they're a Terran. So Erg building a barracks, everything looking very normal and standard in this game, certainly compared to the last game. Malacof with the double gateway, and this worker just wandering about. Malacof just working on his APM there, by the looks of things. Yeah. Let's just click a worker round and round in circles. I don't need to, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's the side core. So only 2 workers in gas here. Not sure whether that's an error or whether he's got something specific in mind. It might be that he just wants to get warp gate researched and then do they used to call it a Korean 4 gate, and a Korean 4 gate is where you have 5 gates. The 4 gate was a classic strategy in StarCraft before in StarCraft 2, before Heart of the Swarm, I think, certainly on Wings of Liberty, the 4 gate was very much a thing, and the way it worked is, as a Protoss, the build lined up pretty well. If you researched warp gate, you built 4 gateways, you put a pylon on the other side of the map, and you warped in units 4 at a time, and a single Nexus with both gas saturated could support sort of continuous warp-ins from 4 gateways of Stalkers, and it was just a very powerful rush, very powerful push indeed. Then they changed it so that warp-ins from a pylon on its own were slower, and so the 4 gate sort of fell out of fashion, and isn't quite as doesn't line up quite as well as it used to. A Korean 4 gate, however, was where you built 5 gateways rather than 4. And instead of warping in Stalkers, you warped in 5 Zealots at a time. So you just mined enough to research warp gate, and then you stopped mining gas to save that money for the extra gateway, and save that money for the extra pylon, and Zealot warp-ins. So the Korean 4 gate was certainly a thing. So Erg. Command center looks weird. Doesn't look like it's in the right place. Looks like it's 1 hex away from where it should be. Maybe it isn't. No, I'm full of crap. What am I even talking about? This Stalker's going to shoot the worker just before he gets that job finished. These 3 Marines against the Stalker. Who wins? Let's have a look and see. The 3 Marines, by the looks of things. So 1 Marine is going to take it for the team. Why wouldn't you pull this guy back? Just leave him at home in case he gets shot again. So no losses for the Terran. Stalker goes down for Malacof, and that is a bit of a win. I know a single unit, but you know when you're at this phase of the game, when put them in the bunker. don't run at a Zealot when you've got what are you doing? Zealot will slice you up, man. He'll slice you in half. Okay, he might have to cancel this. The Malakof's army supply is actually quite high. Sorry, what I was saying was killing a single unit doesn't seem like much, but when the unit numbers are so low, that's kind of a third or a fifth of the total units on the map or something like that. That's quite a big deal. He needs to cancel this, otherwise he's going to lose that. With only 42 health remaining, that's only like a couple of shots. He needs to cancel it and get his money back. No cancel! Dude, you just threw away 400 minerals. Okay, so there are Marines in the bunker. Needs to be ready with the repair. The tech lab is done, but there aren't. Ah, look at this queue, man. That's enough to build 2 more barracks. So yeah, no repair on the bunker. That is really unfortunate. So the bunker does go down, and I think there's enough. There's no target firing happening here either. Look, these several units that are all damaged but none dead is a bit disappointing. So it looks like this kind of weird, sort of skewed four-gate style. And it is a 4-gate, weirdly enough. I know there are gateways over here, but they're not warp gates. So it's essentially a 4-gate. It looks like it is going to win the game here for Malacof. He gets up into his opponent's base. Units are like the Reapers. You know, that's not going to help anyone. These SCVs won't get the bunkers finished up. And even if they did, there are no... Oh, dances the Stalkers. Dances the Stalkers. In your face. Look at that, man. That is well cheeky. Just does a little dance with the Stalkers there. Bit rude, bit cheeky. Didn't bring a worker though to pent the GG. That's always quite. That's like another sort of StarCraft equivalent of teabagging, where you just bring a worker with you so that you can spray can GG and you're right in your opponent's base. You know, that can be fun. If you want to be really rude about it, you put the worker in a warp prism, and just before you attack, you drop the worker out of the warp prism, you pent GG, pull the worker out again, and then you attack. Just if you want to be like that, that's kind of just saying. But anyway, that's not what's happened here. This game is, of course, over. The command center here being rebuilt. I don't know why. Erg is going on a potent counter-attack. Look, I keep grabbing this little cleaning bot. A potent counter-attack here that it isn't going to achieve too much at all. There's enough warp gates, and there even are a couple of Stalkers at home. The Reaper's going to go in by himself and die to the Stalkers, and 2 Marauders isn't going to be enough, because it's so easy to just warp in stuff at home. The warp gates are ready. And these Marauders, even on a move command, so they're not even shooting back, they're just getting killed. And that's that, isn't it? That is that. So as soon as the command center here dies, this game will end. It doesn't look like we're going to see a GG. It doesn't look like we're going to see Erg gracefully bow out of the game. He's just going to hang on in there and just be a bit salty about it. Yeah, not to worry. So Malacof warping in additional Stalkers. You don't need additional Stalkers, Malacof. You just need to get the ones that you have got killing this, don't you? He's worried that his opponent's got a command center somewhere on the map. So he's doing... Look, this is a really good example of what to do if you are against somebody that's gone a bit salty. This is exactly what you do. You spread your units out over the map. The number of times I've seen people march in an army from one location to the other to try and find where their opponent is hiding. But that's, this is exactly the way to do it. Well done, Malacof. You just spread the Stalkers out, so you've got one in each mineral line, so that your opponent can't possibly land and start mining or anything stupid again. Okay, so that is that. Malacof wins and becomes the first player in the Veteran League to go through to the semi-finals. I don't know, is this working for us? If I do this, what I've done is I've jumped across to the spreadsheet that shows you the tournament structure, but I don't know whether the OBS software will pick this up, or whether you guys are still just looking at the StarCraft screen. Anyway. The quarterfinal lineup is Pirate King versus XY Fusion. Malacof versus Erg is what we've just seen, and Malacof goes through to the semis. On the other side of the draw, quarterfinals, it's Darkside versus Pyrobow. That should be a good game. And Haymaker versus Marble Soda. I'm not sure who Marble Soda is. I think some of these have changed their names since they played last year. Oh, it's over on the side of the screen here. Marble Soda is Peter Quine. Okay, cool. So look forward to the games from those guys. In the meantime, GG.